Getting money can be extremely difficult, but once you pass that hurdle, how do you manage your money? Should you hire someone to do it for you? More importantly, how do wealthy people even manage their money? Do they save it, invest it, pay off debt? Every day, someone loses their hard-earned money hiring the wrong person to manage it. So in this video, I want to give you the skills to manage your own money so you don't have to hire someone to do it for you.
Is it Brian? Yes.
Hi, I'm Giannino. I teach you how to make money, grow money, and invest money. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So the goal of this video is to teach you how to manage your own money just like the wealthy would. And the three categories we're going to be looking at are investing, saving, and paying off debt. When do you do which? It can be super confusing to try to figure out where should you be putting your money at certain times. So just a bird's eye view from each category, what goals we're trying to achieve is in the debt category. Obviously we want to pay off that debt completely, and that's really the goal when we're looking at our debt. And the speed at which we're going to pay it off is really related to the interest rate associated with that debt. The next category we're going to be looking at is investing. So in this category, the goal here is to get a return on your money as much as possible without risking your money. And lastly, the last category is the saving category. So this money is the money we may need in an emergency, and the only goal for this money is to beat inflation. We just want our money not to lose value. So that's a bird's eye view of each category: investing, saving, and then debt. What I'm going to do in this video is teach you how the wealthy look at each category and how they manage their money and how you can do the same. What I'm going to do first is dive into the debt category. This is the one that affects most people I'm talking to. You probably have student loans, a mortgage payment, you might have a car payment, or maybe credit card debt, which is the worst one of them all. So what do you do with your debt? Do you pay it off instantly? Do you pay it off over time? And that really depends on the interest rate. So my rule of thumb is when the interest rate is above 8%, we want to pay that down as quickly as possible. So that's where you put all your money and all your effort. The reason for this is because with 8%, most investments won't beat that rate of return. So our money in that case is best paying off debt. But when we're looking at interest rates between 2 and 4%, you can slowly pay off that debt. It's really no rush to do that. So this category could be your car payment, your house payment, or your student loans. Sometimes paying off all this debt too quickly is the worst decision for you, because you can get a better return in the stock market. You can get even a better return in a savings account from some of these interest rates. So just to recap, above 8%, as quickly as possible, you want to pay that down. And below 4%, you can take your time. But it should be noted, the goal at the end of the day is to become debt-free. Pay as little amount as possible in interest every month. At that point, you don't have to have that much saved. That is a sweet place in life, and not many people really get there. Now let's look at the savings category. What do wealthy people think about this, and what's their goal? And I definitely discussed this earlier in the video. You really just want to beat inflation, because inflation is this scary percentage each year, which could be 2 to maybe 10%. And that is the value your money is losing just by staying in cash. So the only goal of anybody when they're saving money is to beat that number, beat that inflation number. And that is constantly changing. Right now, it's around 2.8%. So if your money's in the bank account and not earning 2.8% somehow, you're losing buying power every day. One of the best ways to beat inflation is to look for certain savings accounts that pay anywhere between 2 to 3%. When you're doing this, you can have your money in that account, and you can also buy things with it. So that is money that is completely liquid and ready to use, and it's beating inflation. Some companies you can look at are the Ally Invest Savings Account, and plenty more using the app Mint. Another easy way to beat inflation is to look towards bonds. Bonds are a really safe investment, and when you get that fixed rate bond, you can have a bond paying 2 to 3% just as easily as a savings account does. So those are two easy ways to beat inflation and have liquid money when you need it. The next question you should be asking yourself is, how much money do I need to have saved? And this could vary based off your risk tolerance. So if you're someone that's constantly going to the emergency room or having their car break down, you want to have money saved because those are bills you're going to have to pay that are a complete surprise. So recommended is at least 3 months of expenses saved in your savings account. So 3 months of expenses, which could be around $8,000 to $10,000 depending on how much you have to pay for rent or a mortgage. That's usually the largest amount you can really not cut back on. Once you have 3 months saved, you can maybe look to 6 months saved or maybe even 1 year saved. But after some point, you have too much money saved where you could be using that money to make more money by investing it. If your money is just beating inflation and you have too much money there, that's another huge mistake because you can have that money working for you much harder in other places. That's the next category we're looking into, is investing. This is the most important place wealthy people look to make a return on their money. This is where you can grow wealth and double wealth in 10 to 20 years depending on where you put it. Some places you can put your money in the stock market are individual stocks, index funds, mutual funds, dividend funds, growth stocks. All these places can give you a return on investment. But the key here is you want a return with safety. So you want to put your money somewhere that's going to be safe but will grow for you. Just on average, if you bought the index fund, it will make you 6 to 8% per year, which is 3 times the amount you could be making in a savings account. So that's why investing in the stock market is so attractive, is because the returns are greater, and the returns over time becomes this compound interest effect where you can make a lot of money. And the best part is you don't have to think about it, it's complete passive income. There's been studies out there showing that in a 10-year period, the stock market has never lost money. Obviously, this isn't true about the future all the time, and I'm not a financial advisor, this isn't financial advice, but it's important to note where you can get returns. My next favorite place to get a return on an investment is a dividend stock, and these stocks are very special because they will pay you every year regardless of if the stock goes up or down. So you don't have to worry about how well the market is doing. You're still going to get paid 3 to 5% if you pick the right dividend stock. Definitely can be hard doing this. That's why there's index funds and mutual funds that do pay dividends, offering that safety and diversification so you don't have to be the expert. And the last place to invest your money could be growth stocks. It's obvious that growth stocks outperform the index in long periods of time. Just for example, in 2008 to today, Amazon has returned 7,000% compared to the 300% in the SPY index fund. So that's one example of how growth stocks can greatly outperform index funds. Yet again, just think about that. In 10 years, you could have made 7,000% at an investment. So that's the one reason why saving too much can be bad, because some of that money in the market could make a much greater return and create substantial wealth over time. This is also why it's important not to pay off huge debt with low interest right away, because 2 to 4% with debt is nothing compared to 7,000% in 10 years. Even 300% in 10 years in the SPY index would have crushed the money that would have been used to pay down your house. Your house is probably not even appreciating in some places. Some places it might make 10% a year. So my point is, don't put all your money in just debt. Don't put all your money in just savings. Don't put all your money in just investing. Try to be completely diversified and put your money in a lot of different places. There's no right way of doing this. The wealthy find many different avenues to invest, pay off debt, and save money. And you just have to find what you're comfortable with and what makes the most sense for you. And if you watch my channel, you know I gave 3 amazing apps that you can do to do all of this. I'm going to go over those apps right now and how you can use them to manage your debt, how you can use them to save money, and lastly, how you can use them to invest in the market. So the first app I'm going to talk about is for debt. This app I think works the best is Snowball, and the way it works is you put all your debt accounts your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, and every time you make a purchase anywhere with a credit card or a debit card, it will round that up and pay off the debt. So this is a good way to know what debt's out there as well as paying it down quicker. So this app uses spare change to pay down debt quickly. This is a great tool for paying debt and most importantly managing it. So check out that app, it's called Snowball. I'm going to link that video to the top right as well. The next app I'm going to talk about is called Mint. This is a great way to save money, budget money, and also it gives you savings accounts you can look to get that 2 to 3% yield. It also gives you plenty of credit cards you can look at that will pay you 5 to 10% in certain categories that you spend the most amount of money in. So yet again, plenty of ways to save extra money, all by using this app Mint. And just a quick overview of how it works, you connect all your credit cards, all your bank accounts to it, and it gives you a bird's eye view of what you're spending and what categories they're in. So you can go back month after month and figure out where you can budget, where you can add more money, and most importantly, what your spending habits even look like. Most people don't even know if they're making money at the end of the month or if they're losing money. So it's good just to figure that out first and foremost. The last app I'm going to talk about is called Twine, which is one of the best investing apps beginners can use only because it gives you 3 investing categories: low growth, medium growth, high growth. So based off your risk tolerance, you just choose the category based off what type of returns you want to receive. If you use all 3 of those apps, it will help you do everything I'm teaching you to do in this video: save money, invest money, and pay off debt. And since we just watched how the wealthy manage their money, I want to show you a great video on how the wealthy actually grow their money, how the 1% invest their money. Check out that video to the right of me. I think you're going to love it. An article recently came out of where the ultra wealthy put their money, and it is shocking, the information in this article. The only reason I'm sharing this with you today is to teach you how to invest like the 1%, how to invest like the billionaires out there.